So the 1099 NEC and the 1099 miscellaneous tax form are two different documents. So if you are a business owner and you pay someone to work in your business, but they're not necessarily employees, I want to talk about the two difference in the form so that you are clear on which form that you need to produce. I am Ashley Fields with Fields Accounting Firm, and the first form that we are going to talk about is the form 1099 NEC. Now, this form is for contractors. When you are expected to pay someone in your business more than $600 before you even initiate that first payment, you need to have that contractor to complete a Form W-9. This is required by law. And the reason why it's required, because, I've oftentimes seen business owners, especially when it's time to file these 1099 forms, when it's done after the fact, most contractors, especially if you pay them a pretty good sum of money, they don't want to complete that W-9 because they don't want that income reported. But if you get ahead of all of this, go ahead and request that 1099 before you even initiate the first payment. And what I would actually advise, just from an accounting standpoint, because I have seen the worst in terms of requesting this form at the end from my clients, which is why I strongly urge business owners to retrieve this document before you even initiate your first payment. And I would even go a step further and state that if you don't receive that W-9, especially when it's time to pay the person, that you will withhold the pay until you receive that W-9. Because when you do this after the fact, some contractors will raise hell, okay? But all is not lost. That's why they have the 1099 miscellaneous form. So if you are expected to pay someone more than $600 in your business and you unfortunately did not retrieve the W-9, you requested the W-9 for the contractor to issue them, or efile a 1099 to issue them their own copy, but they refused to complete the W-9 form. Well, that's why the 1099 miscellaneous is in place. So the only thing that you will need to complete the 1099 miscellaneous is, of course, how much you pay that contractor, but you would at least need their name and their business address. That's pretty much all that you would need, okay? You don't need their EIN number. You don't need their social security number. So let's do a really quick recap. The 1099 NEC is for contractors. If you expect to pay someone more than $600, you must retrieve a W-9 in the beginning, well before you make that first payment to that contractor. Like I mentioned before, you will save yourself a headache at the end of the day in terms of issuing that 1099 to that contractor. But if there is a case where the contractor refuses to provide a W-9 and you just want to protect your business, especially if you paid that contractor a large sum of money, then you can instead issue a 1099 miscellaneous. Now, you don't need to collect a EIN number and you do not need to collect a social security number, but at the very least, you need to know the name of the person and a business address or a home address. Now, what happens when you have to fill out a 1099 miscellaneous? You're pretty much just covering your tail as a business owner, especially if you are filing this as a business expense on your either Schedule C or your corporation tax return. For example, I have clients that, are developing a real estate property, a compound pretty much, and they pay contractors a pretty large sum of money. And I oftentimes see where this happens because they did not retrieve that W-9 in the beginning, they requested after the fact, and the contractor is not responding, they're refusing to complete that W-9. So when you complete the 1099 miscellaneous, this form is automatically e-filed to the Internal Revenue Service, the federal government. And the federal government has pretty much everyone's information. So if you complete the 1099 miscellaneous, and because you don't have a social security number or a EIN number, who better to find this information for you? So the federal government will actually do their research on their end so they can make sure that they are implementing the payment or attaching that payment to the right business or taxpayer, they will actually be able to locate the Social Security number and the or the EIN number on your behalf. Okay, so if you are a business owner, I want to do another recap. Second recap. If you are expecting to pay someone more than $600, you need to have them complete a W-9 well before you initiate their first payment. I'm telling you, I have seen the ugly side of the 1099, okay? But all is not lost. If that contractor refuses to complete that W-9 when it's time to issue a 1099 to the business or to that sole proprietor, then you can actually complete Form 1099 miscellaneous. And like I mentioned before, you just need their name and their address, or business name or the business address. And this will protect your business, especially if you are filing a contractor expense on your Schedule C or the corporation tax return. You just want to do this to protect your business at the end of the day. All right, so if you have any additional questions on this topic, be sure to leave a comment below. I know I kind of reiterated the topic, but I just want businesses to understand that this is pretty serious, because right now I'm issuing 1099s now. And I've had a client whose contractor refused to provide a W-9. In fact, they're not even responding, but we were able to issue a 1099 miscellaneous, and we're just going to let the federal government handle the rest, okay? But anyways, be sure to leave your comment below if you have any additional questions on this topic. I will also include my contact details in the description box on how to connect with me. Be sure to like and subscribe for more tax tips and accounting advice. Until next time.